Hello everybody, welcome to this video training. Today I'm going to show you how you can set up a Cisco router from A to Z. First of all, I'm going to take a look at the equipment we need in order to configure a Cisco router. Let's say that you have just bought a router. You will need a computer and what we call a console cable in order to connect that PC to the router, because the router doesn't come with a screen. So the computer is the device that can give you output coming from the router. To connect the computer to the router, you will need a console cable, just like you see it on the presentation. That console cable has two end connector, a serial connector and an RJ5 connector. First of all, the serial connector connect to the computer serial port, and that RJ5 connector will connect to the router console port. You have to put that in mind. Once you have the PC connected to the router, you will have to install what we call a terminal program. But before I go and talk about terminal program, there is I know that a lot of PCs nowadays doesn't come with a serial port. So you may ask a question: what are we going to do if you don't have a serial port on the PC? If you don't have a serial port on your PC, you will have to buy what we call a USB serial adapter, just like you see on the presentation up here. So once you buy that serial adapter, you can plug the serial connector to your USB port in order to get console connection from the router. So, and one more thing I would like to add is Cisco is now making routers that come with a USB console port, just like you see on the screen. So I think that's going to be the future. So now let's go and see. Let's talk about the terminal program. I told you that once you connect your PC to the router, you will need a terminal program, and that terminal program, there is a lot of terminal program out there, but I give you like up here 4 terminal program which I think are the most popular one. First of all, I will start with PuTTY. PuTTY, as you see up here, is a terminal program that you can launch it from an executable file. So what I need about that is you don't need to install that PuTTY terminal on your PC. You just download the file, and from that executable file you will launch PuTTY. For TerraTerm, it is a program that you will have to install on your PC. That's a free program. PuTTY and TerraTerm are free program, you know. But TerraTerm has more feature for me than PuTTY. That's the only difference I can say about that. And we have HyperTerminal, which is a program that is integrated with Windows. So it is a program that comes within the Windows. But my advice is don't use this program, because this program is buggy. So I just mentioned, but there is another package of HyperTerminal that you can download from the internet, which is not buggy. That's what I mean. So I advise you don't take HyperTerminal that is integrated with Windows. So finally, we have Secure CRT. That terminal program, for me, I think is the best one, but it is not free. So for my advice, for those people that don't have money, you may have to go with PuTTY or TerraTerm. That's my advice. So once you have your terminal program installed, you need to put some setting on that terminal program. And these settings, I didn't make this setting. So this setting, I just take them from Cisco. Cisco advise you to use this setting on your terminal program in order to have console connection on your router. I advise you to take this setting in order to have proper connection to your router. That's my advice, because this setting that's not only my advice, but those settings are Cisco advices. Okay, so once you have this setting in place, so now you can fire up your terminal emulator. To explain you all these things, we have to go to let's go to Cisco Packet Tracer, and I'm gonna show you how you can make this thing happen. First of all, I'm gonna put a 2811 router. I'm gonna put a PC up here, and I'm gonna grab a console cable. Just like what I told you, the console is gonna be the serial connector is gonna go to the PC, like you see up here, and the RJ5 connector is gonna go to the console port up here. So once you have that in place, what you need to do is let's go to the PC up here on desktop, and we go to the terminal. Up here, let's just think that we are using hyperterminal, because this is the simulation with Packet Tracer, and the terminal program we are using is the one that is hyperterminal. So click on the terminal, and you see the setting I told you up here. 9600 for the bits per second. The data bit is 8, parity is none, stop bits is 1, flow control is none. So you click OK, and now you see up here the router just boot up. So this is the booting process of a Cisco router. First of all, you have the information from Cisco. This is some information from Cisco, disclosure information, and there is information about the router up here, the processor, the memory, and stuff like that you see up here. And finally, you have the system, what we call the system configuration dialog. It's gonna ask you if you wanna run this system configuration setup. My advice to you is never answer yes to this question, because if you answer yes, you're gonna get stuck, because you are new and you don't understand the step maybe you need to follow in order to accomplish this system configuration setup. So my advice is answer no. No. And once you answer no, you're gonna be presented with what we call the user exec mode. Just put in mind that the router has generally 3 modes. So let's go back to the presentation. Those 3 modes you see up here, we have first of all the user exec mode. So like if you go back to Cisco Packet Tracer, what you see up here is the name of the router, and this greater than symbol. This greater symbol mean we are on the user exec mode. So with the user exec mode, the only thing we can do is the user exec mode is what I call the read-only mode, because we can only run some very limited command, like some show command, you know. So after that, let's go back to the presentation. We have what we call the user privilege mode. In this user privilege mode, we can do all the show command we want. And in order to get to the user privilege mode, let's go back to Cisco Packet Tracer. In order to get to the user, we need we use the enable command. We press enable, and now we are on the user privilege mode with if you see the symbol, the pound symbol after the name of the router, that means you are on the user privilege mode. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Now we have what we call the global configuration mode. In this mode, you can, this is the mode where you do most of all your configuration for the router. And in order to get to that configuration mode, you enter this command, configure terminal. That's what you need to enter. Press enter, and now if you see the parentheses, inside the parentheses you see the config and the symbol pound. That means you are on the global configuration mode, and this is where you're gonna stay most of the time in order to configure your Cisco router. You have to put that in mind. So that's what I want you to understand. So now let's go back to the presentation. Now you understand the mode. So let's see the step-by-step configuration. This is like step-by-step basic configuration you need to put on your router in order to start using your router or start managing your Cisco router. First of all, what you need to do is to change the host name, because let's go back to Cisco Packet Tracer. Like you see up here, the router, this is the name of the router. This is a default name. You don't want to keep this name. So in order to change this default name, you use the hostname command. Hostname. I'm gonna put my router. So like you see up here, the name of the router has been changed. It says my router. So so once you change the host name, the next step is to put security on your router. What I mean about that is to configure a password, and this password you're gonna use what we call the enable secret command. Enable secret command. So let's go back to Cisco Packet Tracer. I'm gonna do enable. And you know what I would like to mention about the command is, if you are stuck with a Cisco command, always use the Cisco help system by using what we call the question mark. So like I would like to type enable, but I don't know how to type it. I'm going to use the question mark. So you see it's going to give me enable. So once I put that, I can still use the question mark to know what I need to put up here. Two, I advise you to take the enable secret, because this one is more secure than the enable password. So I'm gonna do enable secret. I'm gonna do Cisco 123. Okay, this is the enable secret. So once you assign the enable secret, we need to configure the interfaces on the router. And in order to configure the interfaces, I'm gonna tell you that you need to use the show command in order to know how many interfaces you have on your router. And those interfaces, you're gonna choose which one you're gonna need to configure. So I'm gonna exit from here. In order to go back to privilege mode, you type exit. So now I'm on the privilege mode, and this is where you gonna use most of your show command. So I'm gonna do show. This command is very important. So IP interface brief. Show IP interface brief. And as you see up here, I have two interfaces that I'm going to need to configure: the fast internet FA0/0 and fast internet FA0/1. So I'm going to go back to global configuration mode. And in order to get your previous command, that is very important, you can use the up arrow key. You see, I have this command because the router has memorized those commands that I put earlier, So I'm going to go back to global configuration mode, and in order to configure the interface, I go to the interface configuration mode by typing the interface, the interface command, and the interface name. So And one more tip I would like to give you is the tab command. The tab on your keyboard. If you press the tab key, you see it's gonna complete the command. That is a very good practice a lot of people do in order to go a little faster on your configuration. So and I'm going to put the name or the number of the interface 0/0, and I'm in the interface configuration mode. So this is where I'm going to give the interface and IP address. I'm going to do IP address 192.168.1.1. I'm going to give that address, and the subnet mask I'm going to do 255.255.255.0. And I already configured and put in mind that the interface by default, once you have the router for the initial configuration, this interface has been shut down. In order to bring the interface up, you need to use this command, no shutdown. No shutdown. No shutdown. No shutdown. And you see now, it say the interface has been up, like you see up here on the screen up here. So now, so I'm gonna do that for the other interface too. I'm gonna exit from here, and I'm gonna go to interface FA 0/1, and I'm gonna do IP address 192.168.2.1, and the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and I'm gonna do a no shutdown in order to bring the interface up. And now, as you see, the interface is up. So we are done with the interface configuration. So what we need to do is to configure the line console, because this is very important. Because there is some tips I need you to show you about the line console. Let's go back to packet tracer. I'm gonna go to packet tracer it here. I'm gonna exit from here, and in order to go to line console, you do line console and you put 0. That's how you go to the line console, and you do logging from first of all, logging synchronous. Like you see up here, this gonna allow you to synchronize your command. Like when you start typing something, the messages that is coming from the router is not gonna interfere with your typing. That's why you use this command. So logging synchronous. After that, you put a password in order to lock down the console connection. Password. And I'm gonna do Cisco, and you put this command is very important, logging. Because if you don't put a logging, you will not gonna be able to use this password in order to connect to your router via the console connection. You have to put that in mind. So once you have the console connection in place, the line console is once you have it configured, you will need to configure the line VTY, because this is gonna allow you to get remote access to the router. I mean telnet connection, or what we call SSH connection. So I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna exit from here. I'm gonna do a line VTY 0. The line VTY usually is from 0 all the way to 15, but let's put a 0 and let's put a question mark in order to see what we have in this router, because it depends on the router you have for the number of line you can get on your router. 0 to 15 is 16 lines. So first of all, what you're going to need to do is to put a password no, logging synchronous. Okay, logging synchronous. This is gonna help you optimize your VTY logging session, and after that we're gonna do password. I'm gonna do Cisco in order to put security on that connection, the line VTY connection. And after that we put this keyword logging. Don't forget that, because if you don't put that, you will not gonna be able to log to your Cisco router via remote access. Once you have all this completed, now let's go back to we have done with the line VTY connection, and the next step, this step I put up here, this is going to enable like the password and the logging. These two commands is going to enable the remote access capability for the router. So that's what I put this step up here. Is once you configure this line VTY properly, you're gonna be able to telnet to the router. So once you have that in place, the next thing you need to do is to save your configuration. Let me tell you something. To save your configuration, because the configuration you have is now saved in RAM, and you know once you reboot the router, your configuration will be gone. So that's why you need to use this command. Let me show you up. You're gonna exit from here. In order to exit completely and go back to the privilege mode, you can use N. You know, when you do that, you're gonna be in the privilege mode, and you're gonna do copy, redo, copy, run, start, and you see now the configuration. Your configuration has been saved in what we call NVRAM, because in NVRAM, even if you power this router off, or you reboot the router, your configuration will stay in NVRAM. You have to put that in mind. So that's what you need to understand for the initial configuration of a Cisco router. So you're going to be able to do telnet connection and stuff like that once you have all these things in place. So for the future video, I will show you how you can telnet to your router or SSH to your Cisco router.